important to mentor, partner with, and encourage others.
You can't do everything alone, for one. That's, again, how you have experienced burnout. But in order to keep everything moving and the cycle continuing on, you need to mentor. For those who may not know, Shelly is my mentor, and because of her is how I found out about Arisha. So in order for things to run smoothly and for things to continue on, you need to have a mentor. And you don't know everything, so you go to people who do know things. If you want to learn something new, you got to find the people that already know, so you can learn what they know and apply it to what you're working on. And then you continue the cycle so that it grows. So if not, we don't, as a group of people, we don't grow without the continuance of mentor.
I feel like we have to mentor other women to keep our space. If we don't mentor other women to continue to encourage them to have a voice and that they have a place everywhere, then we're closing the women out. You know, we have to keep the work going to keep the spaces open for the young women coming up. So it's important for us to mentor because we learn from someone. So you have to pay that back and keep it going. And hopefully they'll become a mentor and they'll teach someone, because I had a mentor, which was one of my high school teachers. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am now. She taught me as a young girl in high school to be a leader. I don't know what it was about me. She took it upon herself to single me out and to teach me a lot of things on the side. And because of her, I am where I am today. She taught me to speak up. She taught me how to dress when you go into a place, how to dress when you go to a business meeting. Because of her, I learned a lot of those things, and I like to pay that forward. Even now at my job, working there for how many years, we have young girls who come into the job, and I try to guide them in a nice way, in a soft way, to let them know this is the way that it's probably preferable to do. People will take you more seriously if you do this, if you do that, because it's important. Someone did it for me.
I touched on mentorship earlier and the importance of that, so I am truly grateful for the mentors that I've had, because like she just said, they saw something in me too, and I've had that. Like, in mostly every space I go into, there's always been that, and I've been very intentional with trying to be that now, right, for others. Mentor them and just, you know, pour into them however I can. But I want to touch on collaboration, because part of the community work that I do, it has been important to build partnerships. It has been important to collaborate, right, with amazing partners. Like I said earlier, Arisha Holness is one of my partners here in this community. I'm super grateful for the work that they do, but like Ashley said, we cannot do everything alone. We all have our own expertise, our own, you know, ways that we can support, and together we can make a bigger difference and impact more people. And so building a coalition of community partners, I really see how impactful it could be versus if it was just me or my organization, right? So collaborating is super important, because we all have different strengths, different expertise, different skills that we can bring to the table and collaboratively impact the community that we serve, the people that we serve, our families, friends, and so on.
I've been probably, my mother and father, I guess would say, was the first people who mentored me. I was fortunate enough, and even living in the projects, was fortunate enough to have my mother and father in the same house for 54 years up until my father's death. And so that was the first part of mentoring, just watching them, and my aunts and uncles, mostly all of them been married forever, watching them just navigate through life. And then of course, all the surroundings around me, from certain school teachers, community people. I'm gonna tell you something, and I was quiet, I was very quiet. I don't know who this person became. I don't know what happened here, but when I went away to college, I became who I am. That's when I now became this other creation. I'm another person now. So going away to college and me being quiet and being to myself, I always tell people go away to college, even if you could stay on campus. But one of the points of this is that, so when I got there, that made me into another person, because now I had to get up on my own, go to school, no drugs, no sex. Whatever the situation was, I had to figure it out, or I could do all of that, but I had to figure it out on my own. But by being mentored by so many people in the community, on college, and at my job, that helped me to create who I am. So my thing is always to pay it forward. You gotta pay it forward. Because if people hadn't taught us, the seniors haven't taught me, if my grandmother who hadn't taught me, different people didn't teach me, how could I be who I am today? We can't go forward if you don't teach somebody and mentor somebody, just like the ladies were saying. You have to teach and mentor people so that the world can continue to grow in the way that you think it should be. Because somebody else could tell them something completely different. Say one more comment though. You know, sometimes people think, you know, and this will be a little odd, but mentorship has to be someone who's a leader or someone who, and it could be and it could not be, right? So when I was born and raised in the projects in Monroe housing, you know, at one time or another, there was, heroin was very deep. And, you know, there was a lot of junkies, as you might say. And so, which of course it's an illness and a sickness. But they was actually, some of them was actually my mentors. And the reason why was because they would tell us, because they was already into the game. They was already doing what they was doing. And they would say to us, while nodding, okay, we never saw them with needles, nothing like that, never hurt nobody, never robbed nobody, but they would say to us, I bet I never see you like this. I bet I never see you touch no drugs. So you'd be surprised who could be a mentor, but who actually told us, I bet not see you doing this. So don't underestimate who your mentor could be. Just receive the message.
For me, sometimes I have a little regret because I never had that one mentor to put me at the beginning to help guide me through life. And I wonder if things would have turned out differently if I did. But what I did do is I found mentors in the different fields and the different things that I was interested in. Like when I was interested in youth work, I found someone who was very good at youth work. I went to the commissioner of DYCD who mentored me for a little while in youth work. When I wanted to be a cyclist, I went to someone who was really good at cyclists and I followed them. So sometimes it's not about someone identifying you, it's sometimes you going out and deciding, hey, I want to learn how to do this. And you find someone who's doing it well, and you ask them. Because they say mentor, sometimes you're like, oh my God, not a lifelong commitment. No, show me how to do this. And this is what I need. And if you do it that way, then it's easier to get mentors for things that you're interested in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And as in terms of Orisha Wholeness, Jessica and the commissioner here has really helped elevate us. We're talking about mentorship. Here we are, a small little bit of organization, but yet starting with NIDC, we've had some great workshops here, People's Money Projects, the Civics Engagement Workshop, and that was because of our partnership with NIDC. So we were able to bring that to the community. And then Commissioner, she's taken us under her wing. She brought us to Mount Vernon with her. All of the Dole Center classes that we have, result because of her. The paint and sip, which if you don't have a ticket for it, we only have 14 left. Get it. As well as guiding us to things that we could be doing to make Orisha better. You know, Pascal and I, we're co-founders, but there's a lot we still don't know. And who do we go to? People who are in the field, who are collaborating with our organization, who know where we can go with what we have and how we can build it further. And who do we go to? We go to them.